15 years in the coffee industry and I've never seen a coffee farm. That is about to change. I've been working as a roaster with green beans from countries all over the world for near on just over 10 years, but I've never been to a coffee farm, so I'm really excited. We're going to see Pedro's farm. Pedro supplies our Vertentes coffee, which features in most of our blends, and we also sell that as our signature Brazil. One of the things I've been really wanting to do this year is start to break down some of the barriers between the coffee producers and the people drinking it on the end, that kind of everyone gets to see what's going on a bit there. I really want to kind of give people a chance to understand what's happening at origin. It's very easy for coffee to become a product and for us to forget that every bean has been affected by humans. Like most of the coffees that we use are all hand-picked. So there's people attached to this product. And so I'm really excited to go to Brazil and meet some of these people. It's going to be great.
Will there really be a morning? Is there such a thing as day? Could I see it from the mountains? If I were as tall as they? Has it feet like water lilies? Has it feathers like a bird?
In this video, I learned that jet lag is not a myth. We start the day by travelling from our hotel to Pedro's farm. Most of the morning is spent sitting in a car, and we arrive at the farm just in time for lunch. After lunch, we have a quick tour around the farm. Quite a big farm. I was surprised by the size of the thing. Absolutely beautiful. So we get to go up to we see the on-farm roastery. We drive up to the highest point on the farm and look at the view over the farm. Absolutely stunning. After our run around of the farm, we arrive back to the farmhouse and after a couple of quick beers, we head over for a 7 p.m. cupping. Just when we thought the day was over, there was more to do. So we got to cup some pretty new coffees for me. After the cupping, head back. We had dinner. It was great. Really enjoyed it. I hope you do too.
Yeah, that's it. I'm glad. Very good.
Pretty good. Good stuff. It's warm. I love it. I love it when they're warm.
Just seconds ago, I'm
look at that.
And go sugar and coffee. I was going like that, and actually.
Made it. We made it. So we just arrived at the farm. Meeting Joel, and we'll catch up with Pedro soon. Really nice place. Really old buildings. The house here is 200 years old. So I'm sure there's a story behind that.
I'm sure they will see amazing things. This wind means it's going to change the weather?
Hopefully not.
Okay, but that's not the time.
It's supposed to have some rain this afternoon and tomorrow.
Good juice. Orange juice. Good stuff. This is Pedro. Pedro is one of the family here at Santa Antonia and Pinhao, and also Vertentes. We spent quite a bit of time with Pedro. He loves barbecue and soccer on the weekends and has a cup collection which I believe is over 1,000 coffee cups that various people have gifted to him. Really enjoyed spending some time with him and seeing his passion for the way that they do their farming and the impact that that has on the quality of the coffee and the quality of the environment around them. Really fun guy, and we had a great time with Pedro.
Dessert for breakfast and dessert with lunch.
Can't go wrong.
Isso daí chama touch and go. Pouca gente conhece. Eles fizeram um disco.
We are growing the stuff because we are growing the farm. So this is all the coffee areas at Pinhal and San Antonio. Each area has here what is it? So here's the varieties that we have, how many plants, the hectares. Just ask. And you guys got thinking? I have more than 1,000 right now. Yeah, wow. This is our superior coffee. We have gourmet, superior, and traditional would be our medium coffee. Will come really clean, but the beans are not so big. So you have now a bit of defect.
So this is Tim. Tim is from Zimmer Coffee in Tasmania. We thoroughly enjoyed spending some time with him as our travel buddy. And you know, one of the things I think about traveling was Tim was it's not his first Origin trip, so it was really good to have someone who'd been on an Origin trip before, who asked some very insightful questions, and it was really good to travel with Tim.
Grown in Brazil, roasted in Brazil, drunk in Brazil.
Pedro, para cliente da Austrália.
This is Marcelo. Marcelo is our guide and chauffeur in Brazil. He's from Minas Hill. We were really privileged to spend time with him in Brazil, and he worked very hard to make the trip work. Portuguese teacher, translator, taxi driver, a man of many talents, but his biggest talent is his enthusiasm, which he throws into everything that he does.
This region is particularly good and unique in flavors.
Yes.
So you have in Brazil many different regions, coffee producing regions, but the Sul de Minas is one of the most sought regions for coffee. The quality here has been amazing for over 100 years. Sul de Minas has microclimates, small pockets of microclimates. This Sul de Minas microclimate is called Campos das Vertentes. The translation for Campos das Vertentes is where the water flows to one place. So Vertentes means where the water flows. So you have valleys, and the water, when it rains, flows to all these valleys. That's why you see lushy pockets of untouched forest. This is the Campos das Vertentes.
Here you can see many of meat. Today is not so clean, but you can see the tower of the church from here. There is San Antonio.
This is Minas Hill plot. In 2-3 years we'll be able to start selling this coffee in Australia. This is mainly yellow Bourbon, coffee that we have chosen out of the other varieties Pedro produce, mainly due to quality and the quality and the resistance for diseases.
Jet lag is not real. Jet lag is not real. Coffee says no.
The coffee's gonna fix it for you.
Yeah, hope so.
Bean café?
Bam coffee.
Bon
There's a whole bunch
café?
of flavours that I've never tasted in coffee before. I just had breakfast. It's fruit, cake, cheese bread. Delicious. We're going to head in and do some cupping. I'm not sure what we're cupping. I'm sure they'll fill us in on that. The last night we cupped some farm samples. We're just kind of grading them, getting a feel for what the coffees are doing. Today we're tasting some coffees that are they've been fully processed, and they just need to be tasted and graded. This is Wings. Wings is a project on the farm that cares for injured wildlife, and it's a release program for release the birds back onto the farm. It's one of the things that they're doing to look after the environment on the farm. There's a real understanding there that by looking after the environment, not just growing good coffee, they can build a system of life on the farm that everyone benefits from.
Don't move.
Oh no! It's great.
I
was trying to think of the Portuguese. Muito bom. Muito bom? Muito bom. Still getting the hang of that. Not very good. Nicholas.
What are we doing?
We're going to plant a tree and put our name next to it so we can come back and see it when we come back. What kind of tree is it?
Nick the green thumb.
So it's a fruit tree for the birds to eat the fruit of.
So for the sake of the nature, for the sake of the birds, for the sake of all mammals that live in this area, we are here getting our hands dirty and planting another tree that will benefit so many animals in this farm. I hope you guys do the same everywhere, whoever is watching us, because the future of this new generation is actually in our hands. Thank you. Yeah.
Sticky soil. I like it.
Gonna smuggle some back.
I don't think that'll.
We have the idea of the farming to be more sustainable as possible. So every single idea or new technology that shows up, we try to see how we can introduce it on the farm. Last year we started hearing about these solar panels that they would be more efficient and like not so expensive. It would be like possible for us to do it. So all the energy that we use in all the farms, the solar panels will generate for us.
Cool.
So we are 100%. The 100% of the energy that we use, we are generating here on the farm. So the idea for us, it says every single day, what we can more like close the cycles, be more sustainable. Everything that we use, we can or recycle or creating in the farm. So that's the idea.
Had a coffee, Cherry?
Cheers.
What does it taste like?
And in this stage, you can feel how sweet it's from one from the other.
Kind of tastes like a rose
They
hip.
make a lot of difference.
Here we are at Pedro's static dryer. This is a big piece of equipment that dries the coffee down to a specific moisture level. We got to see the static dryer, their milling machine, some storage areas. There's some pretty hectic machinery, and we just got to see the process from when the coffee arrives at the static dryer right the way through to when the beans are prepared and ready for export. There was some really cool equipment. Got my high vis on. Gonna see some coffee.
Coffee.
It's pretty mild, pretty smooth, goes down very nice.
Arrived to a spot on Pedro's farm. We are going to pick a bucket of coffee. We'll see how that goes.
There's some good photos if you. Yeah.
A lot of different colours here. I think there's a lot more variation than there would normally be. I'm not sure, but Pedro said that the coffee has matured a lot quicker than it normally would this year. So, all new for me though. So I noticed a lot of the beans were quite green. I was expecting them to be all red. Why? What do? We pick the green beans. How do they get picked out?
Yes. This year it's a completely different harvest for us, unfortunately. It seems the quality is gonna be so high, but what I do it in Brazil mainly, we most of the time we crop all the beans and then after we have process that we will take the greens and the floaters out. So we can do it in a washery station as a first step, and also after it's dry we can do it in the sorting machine, in the densimetric. So this green will be out in all the other process, not in the crop.
Later.
Later on.
Cool. Thanks.
It's a pleasure.
We've just arrived at the Tempest Farm, which is where we've been getting our coffees from. A nice patch of really lush farmland amongst some not so lush farmland. It's a fairly new farm for Pedro and João, and we're just here to have a look around. The Tempest Farm is a newer one for the family there. It's a little bit different to Pinhal and San Antonio. It doesn't have the same kind of level of tropical paradise to it. So I'm kind of really excited to see what happens at that farm as they start to apply the same care that they have to their other farms, and increase that level of reserve that they have, and increase the quality of the reserve that is there. It's going to be really cool to go back in a few years' time and see how the farm has changed. It's a coffee harvesting machine. Look at these spikes that shake and they drive along the trees and it knocks all the coffee beans.
Flip it over here. Then from here we go down.
This is where the coffee comes after it's been picked. After the coffee's been picked, it comes to the mill here, where the sticks are removed, the coffee is washed, and it gets sorted into its different levels of ripeness, and the pulp of the coffee gets separated from the beans, and then the beans head off ready for fermentation. So we have a special lunch today. We're going to have a barbecue. There's some beef cooking. There is some cheese frying on the grill. Really looking forward to lunch, and there's a soccer game a bit later on, so we're going to have to stop and watch that.
Tell me about your qualifications.
No,
as an
not that.
electrician.
Living it up.
You're feeling
Yeah.
It's really hard to come up with a highlight. Been so good. To see the people behind our coffee and to spend some time with them, eat with them. I think probably meal times would be my highlight. Sitting there, sharing food with our family here in Brazil. Nossa de café. How do I say family of coffee, Marcelo? Nossa família do café. Coffee family. Family of coffee? How does it translate?
Our coffee family.
Our coffee family. Nossa de família do café.
Yes, that's it.
Hey. we've just arrived at Nossa Senhora, a small farm here in the region here at Apas. A lot more mountainous than the other farms that we've been to. We're going to go up to the top and learn a bit more about what goes on here. So this is a patio where they dry the coffee after picking it. There's a few different bits and pieces here. We're just going through, having a look, learning what some of them are. Different grades of coffee, different processing, different picks, I think. But it's very, very cool, and obviously a lot of care and attention goes into this process. This is coffee husks. They use that to heat the fire for their coffee drying machine here, which runs warm air over the beans to dry them out. It's a jungle in here. This is a drying patio where they bring the picked beans to dry them out. There's a lot of colour variation here. This is from the second pass, so it's mixed. The coffee here is this year has really matured quite unevenly as well. So you'll see here there's a lot of mixed colours, but they'll go through and sort that out and grade it all a bit later on. We're a long way up, 1,500, well, at the top it's 1,520 meters above sea level, which is the highest growing point in Brazil.
Family of Caturas. So it's an old descendant coffee, and it is very juicy, as you can see. One of the best coffees in the world. 1,500 meters above sea level. Thank you.
Organico Laranja. I don't know what this is. Citrus, delicious.
Mexerica.
Mexerica. Delicio soak. So we're going to Brazil because we want to see the farms where our coffee is coming from.